Welcome back to the Highline Podcast. Hit that button.
Yeah!
Let's go!
You can't do that.
I can't get it right.
Shut the up and let me talk.
I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
You're only young,
But you're gonna die. Proceed to party.
Ooh, are you ready, Riley?
What did he say?
Go Tigers.
That's incorrect.
Go Cox. I think that might be the best one we've ever done. That was good. I like that. One step ahead, but he's still behind where he thought he'd be by this time. It's hard to please, much less believe that screaming voice in his head. Bubba's in a free fall, racing to the wall. He's scared to lose it all. Is anybody out there, or is he alone? Reaching out for someone in a free fall. He's got a million reasons to hold on, but he needs one to let it go. He smiles like it's okay, but he's got pain that no one knows.
No one knows.
He thinks that he's thinking too much, so he eats till he eats too much McDonald's. It's all spinning faster and faster. He's in a free fall, racing to the wall. I'm scared to lose it all. Is anybody out there, or is he alone? Reaching out for someone in a free fall.
Oh, 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 oh. Hey,
We did it.
Let's go.
I mean, my voice cracked at the end.
That's man.
My voice was in a free fall
Yes,
after
it was.
400 takes of that.
Hey, you keep doing that 10 times like I had to do. That shit hurts your throat.
Oh, my God.
You think your throat hurts?
Said he wants some head from you?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I ain't talking about the singing.
All right, well, thanks for listening to the podcast this week.
Yeah, that's all I got. It's like 155 million degrees in here.
I'm usually the one complaining about the heat.
Yes, but that had me. I was fine until I started doing the dun 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 dun.
Sweating.
I am
like
sweating
a
my balls off.
promiscuous female
And I just
at
showered.
a church service. I didn't shower because I knew I was going to come into this hot-ass studio.
Well, I stunk from the gym, so I figured I needed to get cleaned up for you because I know you complain about how I stink.
This is true.
There's that hair loop again.
Yeah.
Look at that. Zoom in, Trent editing. Look at that.
It's my Superman curl.
Yeah, are you Clark Kent?
My neck works.
Your neck works.
Didn't what's-his-name break his neck after filming Superman?
Oh, the guy that died?
Did he end up dying?
Henry Cavill never broke his
Not
neck.
Henry Cavill, the guy that played Superman before
He is
that.
so hot.
Yeah, he is. Yep.
Well, it's not Pride Month anymore, so. It's a damn shame.
Canceled.
Canceled. Yeah, for real. But welcome back to the Highline
Drink.
episode 155. I am, it's coming out. It's ridiculous now.
I'm going to come.
Oh, I'm about to shower again.
I don't know if a gray shirt was the right move for you today.
Why?
It's going to be dark gray by the end of this episode.
It's going to be the color of that Highline hat right there.
Drink.
Which is dark. Fuck, it's like 7.
I'm already out of beer.
Okay. Welcome back to the episode of the podcast that you know what we're talking about. Trent Davis Riley Embree back at you with the action.
Who?
Riley, how you doing?
I'm doing swell, my guy.
I'm
How are you?
swelling up.
Yeah.
I'm all right.
Other than being very, very, very hot, and then also it's temperature-wise hot in here. I'm doing all right.
Jesus.
Not too bad. Not too bad at all. Kind of disappointed at the race this weekend, but other than that, not too bad. College football 26 is essentially out for people that aren't poor, but me, I am poor, so I can't play it till Thursday night. So excited for that.
I would have bought it. Like, I would have it, be
It's
able to play it, but
$99.
yeah.
I'm not paying $100 to play a game 3 days early.
Yeah,
Not gonna
fuck
happen.
that.
But
And we're already almost halfway through
Yeah.
the 3 days.
then I gotta work. So tomorrow and Thursday. So
I'm getting it on Thursday. My wife bought it for me for an early birthday
Maybe.
present. Hopefully, I'll be getting it Thursday. If not, then that kind of sucks.
Yeah.
But I'm getting the disc version. I always like discs better than just the digital versions. I know there's a lot of shit can happen to it, but that's just the kid in me. I always like to buy the disc, get a physical copy, see the back, see the cover. It's just, there's something about some nostalgic reasons.
that's fair.
For me, so I got it coming in the mail.
I'm gonna come. No, don't come.
Yeah, don't do it.
No, get those lights off. Anyways.
Yes,
I'm
this is a NASCAR podcast.
done doing my Trump impressions. But yeah, doing all right. Short week of work this week. Got some changes coming at work. Not so happy about those, but we'll keep that on the DL for now. But anyways, yeah, I mean it's another week. Got another road course coming up. Not super excited about it.
What's
but
your favorite road course?
it is my favorite road course. Chris has been really really good there. So excited to see what he can do. Needs a bounce back after his somewhat disappointing race at Chicago. So excited to see that. I'm off, so I'll be able to watch it. Yippee! And yeah, I mean it's another week checked off the NASCAR calendar. Racing pretty close to the end of this bracket challenge, and then it'll be the playoffs, and then it'll be football season. So, yeah, this year's flying by.
Then deer season shortly after that. For me, anyways. Yeah, I'm doing all right.
Blaine ate that deer you shot last year.
It's still in there. You ate some of it.
I'm about to take some to the house.
Do it. Just don't leave the backstrap, please. No, I'm doing all right. I still ain't worked since a couple episodes ago. I got to go back Friday, though. Friday night, unfortunately, I got to go back to the old grind. So I'll get to see some of the race Sunday, but I'll be probably going to work when it's not even
as it's ending.
It's probably about as it's ending. So that sucks, but this is road course, Sonoma. It's just one of those races I'd rather. I can deal with, not being able to enjoy a Sonoma race because a lot of Sonoma races aren't that great anyway. So, but yeah, it's just so incredibly hot here in the upstate of South Carolina, and
Heat index was over 100 today.
yeah, I could feel it too. Like when I went to the gym today, of course you know how that gym is. I couldn't hardly breathe.
I was gonna mow when I got back from working my side job, and I took my new lawnmower out the box and said,
Nope.
"Yeah, I'm gonna go play MLB The Show."
Fuck this. So yeah, it is extremely hot. And also we want to send our prayers and condolences to all the people in Texas with that flooding incident, losing a lot of those kids at the camp.
Yeah, I
that
think
was
the
awful.
totals up to 104 people now.
Yeah, that's terrible. That's terrible. So we send our condolences to y'all in Texas. If we got any Texas listeners, hopefully you listen to this podcast, take your mind off some things there. But hopefully things will. God puts everything here for a reason. Does everything for a reason. So just do it like that.
Yeah.
Think of it like that. So, anyways, let's get into the NASCAR side of it. Shane Van Gisbergen wins at Chicago for his second win there and 3 tries
I'm
at the
tired of
street
this
course.
motherfucker.
You don't like him anymore?
He's still on my list on
Hey.
NASCAR.
Hey, he's 2 for 2 for me for picking him this year.
Are you gonna pick him again this weekend?
No, I'm not. You can have him this weekend.
I don't want
But yeah, he gets it done in Chicago. I wouldn't say I don't know if he dominated the race, but
he was definitely the best
he was
car.
probably the best. Although Michael McDowell, he never passed Michael McDowell before Michael McDowell
I will say
broke.
this: the interview that Shane Van Gisbergen did with MRN, I think it was MRN that was doing the radio broadcast this week. He said that he didn't think Michael was all that good. That he just, did well at not letting Shane pass him, but Shane felt like he was better than him.
McDowell was off to he got off to like a second lead.
Dude, he was on his ass.
Not the whole time.
I think he was
near the end of that run before Shane pitted. He was like a second behind.
I don't think Shane was trying to pass him.
That's hard. If he was on him the whole time, I get it. But I don't know. I think it was a lot closer than people want to think. I saw some comments on my TikTok review that said McDowell had the best car, and if he wouldn't have broke, Shane wouldn't have won. So we'll never know.
That's not true.
But I think McDowell had something for him.
I think Chris had something for him.
We'll never know. It's kind of the same thing. He had a good car for 2 laps.
Chris was down power and was still making passes throughout the field.
Well,
so.
he had a whole bunch of wrecks and strategy and stuff.
But he passed like 10 cars in that second to last run there.
That's fair. I mean, he had a good car enough to he's down 2 seconds a lap, and he was still
competitive.
Still, not
faster than Catherine
Legg for most of the race. Yeah, and Catherine Legg got a good finish.
Hell yeah, she did.
20th.
Hell yeah.
Should have took that bet with Matt Man.
Sure should have.
Because Bubba did not beat her.
Did I win this week?
Huh?
Did I win the bet this week?
No.
Damn.
You probably finished second to last.
You think so?
Me and Ethan kind of raw dogged it. Or that sounded gay. We did a quick count after the race Sunday.
What did he say?
And Ethan was last, and you were second to last. So, good job.
That's rough.
Yeah, Christy's probably going to pass you.
Christy
did pass you back for 4th.
I won last week. How? And I beat everybody by quite a bit.
You were only up by 4 points on her. She beat you by way more than 4 points this week. Who are you flipping off?
Christy.
She told me in the thing, she's like, obviously I want to win, but
I just want to beat Riley.
I just want to beat Riley every week. I was like, oh, okay.
That's because I'm the smartest one here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's why
everybody knows that I'm the competition.
That's why you're 5th in the state. You're in the middle of the tier. You are the Denver Broncos of this.
Baloney.
Of this.
That's baloney.
Season or this whole pick'em thing.
I am.
Denver Broncos.
No, I'm Matt Kenseth. I'm 2003 Matt Kenseth. I'm gonna win the championship.
No, you're not.
Only winning one race.
Dude, you're like 250 points still behind Johnny.
That's not that many.
It's not, but he got off that big lead, and nobody's got within 100 points still. Matt is like...
And he got lucky with a lot of that shit, too. Most weeks, I have guys like probably 4 out of my 5 guys running in the top 10, and something happens. Most weeks.
That's not true.
What?
That's not true.
What?
My guys run 4 out of 5, and then, I can say
if
that.
I keep picking this beer up.
Because I have my head of you in points. But yeah, so.
For those of you who don't know, I don't know how you don't know by now, but we're doing a pick'em.
We haven't talked about it much on the podcast.
With a bunch of folks that we know, a lot of his in-law family. And
E-Dog, he's been on the podcast before.
Yeah, he's been in it. And,
he joined late.
Yeah, so he's in last, but... I've only won 1 week, so
that was last week.
That was last week
at Atlanta.
Yeah,
about damn time. Now Shannon's the only one that hadn't won yet.
I'm gonna win this week at Sonoma, but
yeah, sure you are.
Anyways, into Chicago. I thought the race kind of sucked. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah, it's the average for me.
I thought it was the second worst road course so far. Granted, there's only been 3, but.
What was worse than this?
It was Coda.
Oh, no. Coda's been the best.
Mexico was better than Coda.
Nah.
But none of them have been great.
I would say this is the worst road course to me, and I think the road course racing this year has been better than years past.
Like I said, I don't think any of them have been great. I don't think any of them have been horrible, but I do think this one is the middle, and I think this was the worst version of the Chicago street course we've seen. A lot of that could be because of no weather, obviously, to affect the grip and the racing on track. A lot of that, I think, is also because once these guys start figuring out these road courses, it gets tougher and tougher and tougher to pass because there's not as much spread between the field. So I think that's got something to do with it as well. And, it is what it is. I mean, if you're going to run a track like this, eventually you're going to have guys figure out how to get around there, and it's just going to be more difficult for people to pass them. So I think that's what happened. and kind of made the first 75% of this race really boring, to be honest. Not a ton of passing throughout the field. The only time you really saw any passing is when guys were making mistakes, locking up, going into corners, hitting the wall, causing a huge pile up on lap 3, thanks Carson Hocevar, shit like that. And that's kind of disappointing. I was hoping to see a little bit more racing throughout the field. A lot of that could be, again, which I'll talk about this a little bit later, could be on TNT for just not showing it if there was racing throughout the field, because they would there's plenty of times where there was guys, trying to make moves on guys, and they'd cut to the leader, and the leader would have a half a second lead on second place, and we didn't see the pass that they were literally showing before they cut away from it. So a lot of that could be fixed with better broadcasting, but all in all, thought it was just a down week for NASCAR, a down week for broadcasting. Shane Van Gisbergen, everybody's picked to win the race, won the race. And it's just, we say it, every time one of these races happens, you'll have this in NASCAR. But it doesn't make it any easier when it happens, right? You're not any more happy knowing it's coming every now and again. So kind of disappointed in the race. I'd say 3-4 out of 10. The ending kind of made up for it a little bit. There was some good racing towards the end. Guys finally took the gloves off. You had the Bubba and the Alex Bowman stuff. You had some bumping and banging throughout the field. Joey. Yep. You had the 45 coming up through the field on new tires. So there was a little bit kind of when guys started racing real hard towards the end. So that kind of saved this race from being terrible. But like I said, the beginning of the race was just so boring to me that it didn't really bring it up that much in my perspective.
Yeah, I give this race a 5 out of 10. It was an average NASCAR race. And 4th of July weekend, racing in NASCAR, you always want it to be a little more special just because it's, Independence Day weekend and a lot of people are out, vacation, and, a lot of people's traditions is to watch NASCAR on 4th of July weekend. There's not a lot of other sports to watch on 4th of July weekend in
Baseball.
NASCAR. Other than baseball, there's not really any
Women's
competition.
Basketball.
Yes, WNBA. Can't wait to watch the Fever in the Sky or whatever the fuck.
We're forgetting about the most important sport of them all. Cornhole.
Yes, fire. But, so a little disappointing on that end. But I think the reason why this race was a little lackluster is, like you said, we haven't had a dry Chicago race the first 2 years of this. And it just seemed like a lot of the day until you said the last, 15, 20 laps, these guys were just kind of a little hesitant, just kind of scared to overdo it. We saw a lot of guys in practice, Chase Elliott, William Byron. Denny Hamlin blew up, but Bowman, I think, messed up. Bubba wrecked in qualifying. I hope Catherine Legg wrecked in qualifying. Corey Haim hit the wall in qualifying, broke a toe link, and didn't make the show. Catherine Legg beat him, which was a big shock to us. Corey Haim, we just figured would make the show on speed. He had the speed in the car, just messed up. But, I think these guys kind of got a little scared on Saturday, and it made them kind of, for 85% of the race, kind of drive a little hesitant to make moves, hesitant to throw it in there, throw it in, overdrive a corner just a little bit by 5%. You had your braking points, and a lot of people just stuck to those braking points, never tried to overstep it because they didn't want to mess up. And I think that's what you saw. I mean, especially early in the race, Carson Hocevar pushing the limit, top 5, really for no reason. He wasn't trying to pass anybody, just kind of out there by himself. And he clips the inside wall, and that little right-hander going into another right-hander near the end of the straightaway where it's all a big old convoluted mess, and you saw what happened. You had a fucking parking lot crash. So I think a lot of these guys all day just kind of were being conservative with how they drove this racetrack. And I get it to an extent because, like I said, we haven't had a dry racetrack or a dry race here with this car and with this street course. And other than Shane Van Gisbergen, he's the only person that really has experience driving on a dry street course in the past, really ever. So I think that's the reason why he kind of saw what we saw on Sunday. But, I think it was the worst road course race of the year. Mexico City, just because it was different and new. And Shane did dominate towards the end, but he still had some good moments throughout the race. And then Coda earlier in the year, I think, is still the best road course race of the year so far. It had a great finish, pretty good passing throughout the field throughout the race. And, of course, like you said, the finish matters on how these races are remembered, and that was a very good finish there. So, but Chicago, like I said, still the worst road course race of the year, but still not terrible. Like I said, I think road course racing this year has been better than the previous 3 years of this car. So this weekend at Sonoma has a chance to probably – usually you have really good races or really bad races at Sonoma. There's usually not a whole lot in between here this weekend at Sonoma. So we'll see. It's a little later on in the year, so it'll be it'll probably hotter in Southern California or Northern California. It's Northern California. So we'll see if that changes anything on how the guys race. It's a repay from last year, so we'll see how that goes. We'll get into that a little bit later. But yeah, I mean, Shane deserved to win the race. He won the race. He had some Ty Gibbs impressed me all day. Tyler Reddick was good after being really bad at Mexico a few weeks ago. So that was good for that 45 team. Been close. Keep on getting closer to that first win. I think that first win's coming for the 45 team. And I think, obviously a disappointing guy out for me would be Chase.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, he got damage earlier on in the race, and it really just affected his car.
And he sucks.
Well, you picked him, so that was disappointing to see.
It was a layup.
Huh?
It was a layup.
Was a layup.
Pick and Chase.
Why?
Because he's one of the guys you don't expect to win. So yeah.
Oh yeah. How about last week? God Almighty, it's hot. But yeah, and then Blaney actually had the best day of all my guys, which would be on the bottom of my totem pole and who I thought was going to be good on Sunday. Won stage 2 using that strategy, just getting the stage points. Never had a chance to win the race, but then he hit the wall and blew a tire or something in stage 3 when he was coming up back through the field after pitting. Had to repit again. Then those cautions at the end, he's able to work his way back up through the field to 12th. So good rally for Blaney after getting a stage win too. So that was a pretty good day road course wise for Blaney. And then Chris obviously having his motor problems early. I thought he was the best guy to have a chance to win out of my guys, and we'll never know. I think he did probably have a top 5 car, but it's just hard to say with everything that worked out on the strategy side, and if Chris would have been on the right or the wrong side and all that stuff. But decent day, I guess, for my guys. All top 16, but they're all top 18, but all of them in the lower half of that. So not the best day for my guys, but not too worried about it. Chicago's just so unique that we won't have to see nothing like this the rest of the year, so I'm not too worried about it for my guys.
Well, we might not see it again ever. Obviously, we've talked about it a little bit on this podcast that Chicago might be going away. So,
Yeah.
what do you think about that?
Yeah, I think it is the last year of it. I think there's just been a lot of pushback from the people in Chicago that just don't want this race anymore. The luster is kind of worn off. It kind of remind me of the L.A. Coliseum. The first couple of years, it was really just the first year was oh man, it's a lot of people, a lot of hype around it. And then second year, okay, a little less hype. Third year, it was just a complete disaster. And weather affected that, but it was still a disaster. I think whether the weather got into effect of that race or not. But kind of same thing with this. First year, was really cool. Second year, okay, but it's fucking still pouring down rain for the past 2. This one was a dry race and had a chance to, see a dry NASCAR race in the streets of Chicago, and it just didn't have the same pop and flair that we've had the past couple of years. So I think the people of Chicago were kind of, especially the higher ups, are kind of over. I mean, the mayor that wanted this race, helped get this project going a couple years ago is now out. It's a new mayor. He's never been a huge fan of this event, and a lot of the people in the Chicago council, city council, whatever, they're kind of not all that thrilled about having it, and a lot of the people in Chicago complaining about the noise and could mess up artwork in the museums around it's a joke. But I think it's over for Chicago. Doesn't mean I don't think it's over for street racing in NASCAR, but I do think it is the end of Chicago street course in NASCAR for the time being. They could return, but I think 2025 is the last year for now.
Yeah, I agree.
Hopefully that means Chicagoland will be coming back next year.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't think necessarily that Chicago going away means Chicagoland will be here. I do think that Chicagoland deserves to be on the schedule.
Chicago's a big market not to have nothing.
That's fair.
I mean, you got some tracks around Chicago, but not.
But what I'm saying
near
is
Chicago.
I think there is room for a street circuit in NASCAR. So I don't think that necessarily getting rid of Chicago means that you abandon the street course stuff. I think that you replace this race with another street course and bring Chicago back in place of something else, which, pick what that would be, whether you, God forbid, take one of Bristol's dates because, the day race at Bristol has been historically bad, other than the year that we both went last year. There's plenty other racetracks that have 2 dates that maybe shouldn't. So pick which one you would on that. But, street racing as it goes has been fine. But I think you're going to run into the same trouble no matter where you go. I think, year one, whether it's, San Diego or Denver or New York or whatever, pick whatever metropolitan area you want. Year one's going to be really cool because it's new and you got all the pomp and circumstance going around and everybody's excited to be there. And then, they elect a new mayor and the city's not for it, but they have a contract, so they have to race the contract out. And they're just not wanting to put it on. And, probably by year 3, it's not putting on good racing anymore anyway because the teams have figured out how to go fast. So, I think you're going to run into the same issues no matter what. And I think that's just the nature of the beast of street racing. Street racing in IndyCar is not all that good in my opinion. Most of the time it's kind of follow the leader. F1, there are some good street courses. There are some really bad street courses. There's not really any in between. So, if they ended up going to San Diego, which is what it sounds like they would do if they went to another street course, I'd be okay with it. But I think in 3 years we'll probably be having the same conversation again, which I think I've said it on this podcast before. I'm okay with having street courses. If you want to do a street course, I'm okay with having it every couple years and having it rotate. You've got the Chicago street course this year, you got Denver this year, you got Miami the next year, you've got San Diego or New York or whatever. Houston. Have 5 or 6 rotating street courses. That way that the cities never, get tired of it. And every time you go back, it feels new. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having a rotating street course kind of schedule. But I know that would be a real pain in the ass for NASCAR to set up logistically. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I do think that there will be a street course on the schedule next year. But if you told me there wasn't going to be, I wouldn't be surprised. I do think they're going to figure it out, and they will release that's going to end up happening. But if they say, nope, Chicago's getting replaced by Chicagoland and everything else is the same, it is what it is. I wouldn't lose any sleep over it.
Yeah, I do think there will be a street course next year. Probably San Diego. Just how much traction that rumor's got in the past couple weeks, and then you come to Chicago this weekend. You just see kind of how how the buzz just wasn't quite there. I think San Diego is a good spot. It's Southern California. It's a big market where NASCAR's struggled to always get into since they got rid of Auto Club. Even Auto Club's kind of 2 hours away from LA, I think, or something like that. So it's San Diego. I don't know how far San Diego is from LA. It's probably about the same, actually. Maybe a little closer, maybe like an hour away from LA. I don't know. I don't know California distances and stuff like that. But San Diego would make sense. You want to do it in a big market. Doesn't make sense to do it in a smaller market. Chicago, New York, San Diego. If you want to go to LA again, but you do a street course version. I don't know how you do that, but you did the LA Coliseum. Now, to be fair, it's a Coliseum, not a street course. Logistically, that would be a nightmare as well. But that would get a lot of buzz. People are out in LA all the time. They don't care about their own sports teams. You got to come to them. from what I've heard in L.A. and California and stuff like that. So that would be a good idea. I do want a street race because I think it is unique and it works enough. Especially with, I wouldn't say with this car, but just NASCAR in general. I think it has a place. It does have a place in the sport now that we've done it for 3 years. Me and you both were not happy when they announced it a couple years ago. Didn't like it, didn't like the idea of it, but I think it's kind of like New Atlanta. Obviously, New Atlanta has worked. Doesn't mean we don't miss old Atlanta, but New Atlanta definitely has worked. And I think Chicago street courses worked as well.
I think a good comparison is the Roval. You know, I don't remember talking to you about it specifically when they switched to the Roval. I'm sure we did talk about it, but
I was happy about it
before this podcast. I'm sure I wasn't. But back then, you know, the mile and a half stuff was so bad, and you know, the road course racing was actually pretty good. Watkins Glen and Sonoma put on pretty decent racing, and then they said, "Hey, we're gonna switch over to running the Roval," and you know, I was okay with it, and what was still an oval guy, always will be, always have been, but you know, the Roval, you know, had its first couple races, and they were really good, and then they got stale, and you know, it got stale because we got this new car, and the cars are easier to drive on road courses. The teams
now it's one of the worst tracks in NASCAR.
Yeah, the teams figured out how to get around there, and you know, like you said, I think it is. If it's not the worst, it's top 5, and you know, if it's not the worst road course, it's second, and it's.
And the only reason why you have some decent moments from there the past few years is because it's the playoffs, it's a cutoff race,
Yeah,
and
people are just
drivers just do
driving
crazy
hard.
shit.
And
that
you
you
know,
wouldn't have if you had this race in June. You wouldn't have it.
What I would love to see, and obviously this is never going to happen because it is what it is. But if they had a street course in the Gen 6 era, I think that would be really good television because those cars aren't meant to do what they're trying to make them do. And that's what always made road course racing interesting in NASCAR was that those cars were not built to turn left and right and, you know, go over the rumble strips and, you know, like Robbie Gordon would do at Watkins Glen in the bus stop and, you know, fucking all 4 tires off the ground, sliding through that bitch sideways when he landed on the other side, you know. They weren't meant to do that, and that's what made it interesting. Now these cars are purpose-built, essentially, to turn right and left, and they handle so well that you don't get those crazy moments that you used to get at road course racing, and that's what I think's hurt a lot of the road course racing, and that's what I think is going to end up hurting the street racing in the long run once teams figure out the layouts, is that these cars are just too good, and you know, it's the same reason why the short track stuff's, you know, not great right now, is because the cars just handle too well, they brake too well, they're too planted.
Mess up, drop a gear.
Yeah, that you don't really get guys slipping and sliding around. Now at street courses, you got guys, you make a mistake, they hit the wall, right? So you know, you got opportunities for passing there, but you know, other than that, it's drop a gear and disappear, right? And that's unfortunate, but that's the nature of NASCAR road course racing in the moment. So, like you said, San Diego's probably going to be the option. It'll be fine for a couple years, and in 3 years, mark my words, we'll be having the same conversation.
What I will say, though, about San Diego is, you know, Chicago, they got all their big sports teams. You got the Cubs, you got the Bulls, you got the Bears, you got the White Sox, you got the Blackhawks.
Yes.
Right?
The Sky.
Yeah.
Shout out to Angel Reese, grabbing her own rebound.
Yes. And you even got some college football. You got Illinois and
Illinois
and
DePaul.
DePaul. And,
I don't know if they play football, but they got good basketball.
Yeah, and you got Northwestern
Who?
around there too. So a lot of sporting teams and franchises are there. San Diego, as you all know, lost their professional football team to Los Angeles. What was it?
Chargers, go.
7-8 years ago. And they don't really have a whole lot of professionals.
They've got the Fathers.
They got the Padres, but that's about it.
Fuck the Padres.
So it's a big market to where the town is starving for some sporting action.
And there's a lot of blue-collar fans there. I mean, you've got there's a Navy base there. That's where they do SEAL team trainings down in San Diego. There's a lot of military presence in San Diego. It's a military town. I think NASCAR could definitely find a market there, and they would sell tickets for sure.
I think it'd do better than Chicago.
Maybe.
The buzz around it.
And I think it would be better received by at least the populace. But
weather would probably be better, too.
That's fair. The problem with it is you just got to build a racetrack that's good. And I'm not saying Chicago wasn't, but
we're not building you're making
designing. You have to
go.
design a racetrack that's
a street track.
interesting. Now, if you want to build a racetrack in San Diego, fuck yeah, let's do it. I'm all for it. But if
do a 2-mile or 3-mile Bristol or whatever. What the hell did
I
you
don't
say?
remember.
With
So
like
I've said
35-degree bacon
I've
or
said
whatever.
some wild shit.
Yeah.
But
where you're turning constantly.
Yeah. But you know, I think San Diego's a good market. I'm here for it. It's going to end up being the same story.
It could be, but I'm holding out hope that San Diego could be better received and could put on. And that's another thing too. Hard for me to admit this, but the racing product, I think in street courses, it matters, but it's not the biggest factor.
The event's more important.
The event there's certain events and certain tracks, especially nowadays in NASCAR. It seems like that's all they go for is just the event, the publicity it gets over the actual racing. And that sucks for a lot of races because I think the racing product should be the one and only focus, really.
Daytona.
Yeah. But in a street course version, like you go to a big city like a Chicago, if you go to San Diego, you go to New York, I think the racing itself isn't the top priority on we need this to be good. The top priority is let's make this easy for the fans. Let's make it a cool scenery. Let's make it easy access. Let's get it out. Let's make sure it gets out and everybody knows about it. That's more important, in my opinion, with these street races than the actual racing product itself. And if you have one or two of those a year, I'm okay with that because that helps you build the sport. It grows the sport back up to where it used to be back in the heyday. Now, to be fair, we didn't have street courses back in the heyday of NASCAR, but those days are gone. We'll never get back to that. So another way to try to get people interested in your sport is you bring it to the big cities, into the casual fans or the fans that don't really care about NASCAR. Bring it to them. They'll have to pay attention if they live in that big-ass city where millions of people live, and then that's how you kind of grab their attention.
Millions and millions.
I don't know what you're referring
The Rock.
to. Huh?
The Rock? That's what The Rock did.
Yeah, that's when you get him in a race
The
car.
Rock says, it doesn't matter.
Simon says?
Anyways.
Simon says, touch your pick. Your pick.
What is that?
You got a guitar pick, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Does Simon say Daniel Suarez find a new ride next year?
I don't know. Daniel Suarez is out at the end of the 2025 season at a Trackhouse. They're going to be putting...
Called it.
Oh, gee, like every other fucking person.
I was the first one.
Oh, were you?
Yes.
Let's be.
I was the first one to
here.
say it.
I think
Other people-
I think to be fair,
Other people
you said it like
speculated.
you said it like after Atlanta. When
I
he wrecked. Not the second Atlanta. The first.
First
Atlanta.
one. I said that motherfucker gone.
Yeah, you said it. Yeah, I think you did. To be fair,
I've been
and
saying
I didn't
it-
disagree with you either.
I know you didn't, but I was the first one to say
Okay.
he will not be racing at Trackhouse next year.
Everybody get a cookie and send it to Riley Embree because he wants his cookies.
I'm
For
right
getting it right.
again.
By damn. How about them picks?
You know, I thought I was wrong once, but I was mistaken.
Yes, you were. That's very.
Motherfucker,
that's
you
our
picked
intro.
SVG at 2 road courses.
No,
You're going to get 4 points off of that.
Guess what? Guess what? I had the ability to pick SVG because you would have picked them too. But guess what? I beat you in the other 4, bitch, or 4, whatever it was.
Who was winning?
I beat you 6 straight
Other
weeks.
than those 2, who would be winning?
We'd be tied.
Fair enough.
Jackass.
So
Anyway,
you just got lucky with winning specific races before road
Yep,
courses.
that's right. I've gotten 3 outright wins this year. You ain't got none.
Don't need 'em.
Because you a
Still gonna win.
dumbass.
Still gonna win.
Still gonna win. I finally got my steak dinner, by the way.
I did.
forgot to take a picture of it and send it on, put it on our Instagram. But you did buy me my steak
Yeah,
dinner
went out back.
last week. It's
good stuff.
It was very good. Very
Had
good
to put it
steak.
on a credit card, but hey. Actually, no, I didn't. I put it on my debit card because I gave him the wrong card.
Oh, that's right. You're like,
Damn.
fuck. Oh, well.
It's a damn shame.
Still got money on it. Didn't have to clean no dishes.
Nah,
So
that was good.
That was good. So I finally got mine. I just forgot to take video or picture proof of it. But, Daniel Suarez
It's the
will
last
be.
one you'll be getting.
No, okay, then I'll be getting another one here in about 4
I'm
months.
not buying it.
Yes, you
You'll
are.
be waiting till July
You better
next year,
hope
too.
hope your wife comes back then you? Then I'll get one.
I'm going to cry.
Do it. Wouldn't be the first time.
Damn.
Yeah, but Daniel,
Baby, come back.
Daniel
I'm
Suarez.
going to sing that next week.
Do it. I'll get the song. Is out at Trackhouse, and he said some things. They were kind of interesting last weekend. I get it. It's kind of a breakup thing, and you've been with the team. You were the first driver of the team inception in 2021 when Trackhouse first began. It was Daniel Suarez, and that was it. And they were kind of leaning on him as being the main guy. And then they got Ross Chastain the next year, and Ross proved to be a better driver than Daniel. Go out and won 2 races, went to the championship 4.
He won the championship. Wow, that's great.
He almost did. While Daniel did win a race that year, but got eliminated in the round of 16 or round of 12 that year. 2023, same shit, didn't win a race. Well, not same shit, but just didn't run all that great. Then last year, did win in Atlanta, make the playoffs earlier in the year based off that win, but he was nowhere near
Sucked the
a
rest of the year.
championship really level driver. Got eliminated in the round of 12 last year. And, just kind of said things like he just said, like the past few months, it just felt weird. Felt like he hasn't been included in a lot of things. Just hadn't felt that his input matters anymore, and just, all this stuff. Obviously, they got rid of Pitbull in the off season,
Dolly.
and that's where kind of the speculation started to begin, because I know Pitbull was a big benefactor, and he's a big supporter of Daniel. And when Pitbull got out, it's kind of when the rumors started speculating around, hey, this Daniel could be out at the end of the year. And ultimately, that's what it wound up being. Just not good enough in all years. Really struggled this year. Had like one good run. That was at Las Vegas. Finished second to Josh Berry, but gave up the lead to Josh Berry late in that race. Had a chance to win the race. Maybe he's not even in this position right now if he wins that Las Vegas race earlier in the year. But been a rough year. I think he's like 29th in points. He's right there with Brad, so you know how bad how bad that is.
And bread.
Who is Brad?
Brad has wrecked out of like every race this year. So
Yeah. So he has been a rough year for Daniel, and I do think, not cup-wise, but I think he will go. Although he said he does not want to go back to Xfinity. It's like he's got the taste in the Cup Series, got the taste of the best in the sport. He don't want to go back down to Xfinity. I think that tune will change once we get to later in the year, and he really ain't got no Cup
Corey
rides
LaJoie said
available.
the same thing.
Yeah. So, and Corey LaJoie regrets what he did, saying what he said about the Truck Series race, about McAnally, Hildeman. Yeah, Hilgerman.
I think it's Hilgeman.
Hilgeman, about the 19 truck. He could have had it this year, but he chose not to. So I think he will go down to Xfinity next year. He could go drive for Junior Motorsports. He's already won a race in that organization this year, obviously in Mexico City. And he's an Xfinity Series champion back in 2016. So I think that kind of leads to what makes sense for me for Daniel. I think that's a big team is not going to really, I don't think, give him an opportunity. He's had so many opportunities in the sport with JGR. I know that he kind of got thrown in there after Carl Edwards suddenly retired, but still didn't do nothing in 2 years there. Went to Swordhouse when Swordhouse was still at its peak. Didn't do nothing there. Had a rough year in 2020 with the Gaunt Brothers Racing, and obviously we're not going to hold him against that.
Forget about that 95 car.
And
That thing was
96,
fast.
96.
That's
yeah.
right.
And 2021 on has been Trackhouse, and starting a couple years, get him a little bit of a break. It's a newer team, and then you see what Ross is doing now. SVG, it just it made him just look worse as Ross was winning races, and SVG now is winning races, and it just he was the worst driver on that organization. It kind of put Trackhouse in a bind. Got this young phenom in Connor Zillich, where if we don't put him in a Cup Series soon, somebody else will.
Put him in a 6 car.
You need to. But, so Daniel didn't like the direction and how he felt the past couple months, but you can't really complain when you're not getting the job done on the racetrack. But he will go to Xfinity next year, in my opinion.
I agree, and this might be low-hanging fruit, but I'm giving you my perspective. I was right about him getting out of the car, and I believe I'm going to be right about what car he's going to be getting into. I think it's going to be an even swap. I think Connor Zilic is going to hop in the Cup Series ride that Daniel Suarez is driving. I think he's going to go down and drive that 88 car next year for Junior. I don't think he's going to have very many Cup opportunities. I do think the Cody Ware team or the Rick Ware team will give him a look. I think if he stays in Cup, that's probably going to be his opportunity.
Phil Pusher or whatever his name is that bought it.
I don't think that Cody Ware is going to stay in that car full time. I could be wrong, but I think that might be a landing spot for him if he stays in the Cup Series. But I do think his best opportunity, and I think Eric said it in his video about this, is that he needs to go down to the Xfinity Series, do a Ryan Preece, do a Daniel Hemrick type deal, and go prove that you can win races. Now, he's already won a race, like you said. He won Mexico City. Debatable at whether or not he should have won that race. Really not debatable. It should have been either Zilic or Gibbs, really. But, won Mexico City in the 9 car. And obviously, I think Daniel Suarez is a talented enough driver to be competitive in the Xfinity Series. I think he's a race winner in the Xfinity Series, especially.
He's a champion.
Yeah, what I'm saying is I think he could be continuing on.
I got you.
Obviously, he's won a championship in that series before, but we've seen some not so great drivers, Cup Series wise, win the Xfinity Series championship. I mean, you can think of Austin Dillon, Daniel Hemrick,
Cole Custer.
There's a lot of guys that haven't really cut it at the Cup level that have won. Ty Gibbs so far.
Yeah.
There's a lot of guys that have won in the Xfinity Series that just haven't done it in the Cup Series. I think Daniel Suarez might fit that bill.
That's a good point. The only Xfinity... He picked up another one. The only recent Xfinity champion in the past 10 years that has really worked out...
Chris Buescher.
Technically that's 10, but 16 when Daniel won to now. Tyler Reddick. And even him, he's only got 8 wins.
Let's think on this here.
That's it.
We're forgetting somebody.
No, we're not.
Bell never won one.
Oh, shit, Byron. Fuck, I did forget about Byron.
Byron
Byron's the
won
most
one.
successful one, and Reddick second. Okay, William and Tyler.
Yeah.
And they drove the same car. That 9 car in the Xfinity Series won
Who won the
2
Xfinity
straight
Series championship last
with
year?
Byron and Reddick.
Fucking
Huh?
the 7 car.
Yeah, Allgaier.
Yeah. He didn't make it in the Cup Series.
He didn't. He did not. Old as shit too.
But,
Little gator.
yeah.
But yeah, it's. So you think he'll go to?
I think the 88's
Junior.
the most likely. And I think it's the smartest move for him.
And you don't think he gets back in the Cup Series, or do you?
I don't think he makes it this year. I think if they bring some more charters in,
The 2026 silly season going into 2027 is a lot more open
there'll be some movement because I think Brad.
than this year's.
I think Brad's closer to being done than not. I think Denny's closer to being done than not. There's a lot of cars. Now, I'm not saying he gets in those cars,
Kyle Busch.
but I'm saying there might be some Cup Series guys that take those rides that open up some kind of second-tier organization type stuff. Now, maybe the 8 car is
Legacy,
something.
they want a 3rd charter.
Yeah, maybe that's something he could, do is, hop in the 8 car when Kyle retires, or, maybe, whoever, Zane Smith, if he hops in the 6, just throwing his name out there. If he takes a 6 when
Well, I think if
when
Austin,
Brad retires,
if Austin Dillon retires, I think they get rid of the 3 again. Go back to 29 or something.
I mean, they should have never brought it back to begin with. But
Yeah.
Richard Childress in a couple years could be an option. Front row
Colleague.
could be an option. Colleague could be an option.
The 10 car, but I think Ty Dillon's, on contract for next year too.
And he deserves to be. I mean, Ty Dillon's been better.
He beat your favorite driver.
He maybe not better than Daniel all year, but for
tournament.
the equipment,
Yeah.
Ty Gibbs is outperforming his equipment a lot.
Ty
this year.
Dillon.
Is that what I said?
You said Ty
Dillon?
Gibbs.
He is underperforming. But
He's gotten a lot better, though.
yeah, so Daniel's been the guy that's kind of underperformed, and he needs a reset, and he needs to go back, I think, to the Xfinity Series, prove he's still got it, prove he can do it, maybe gain some confidence back, and jump in, maybe a second-tier Cup ride, and be the Ty Dillon, and be the, AJ Allmendinger, and be that guy. He's never going to be the leader of your team. He's never going to be the guy that goes out and wins, 5-6 races a year. But he could be a guy that, competes for a win here or there, or, maybe competes for a fringe playoff spot as the second driver on a decent team. That could be his path forward, and there's nothing wrong with that. I just don't think that opportunity is going to present itself this year. So, jumping in the Xfinity ride, making a decent payday, going.
He's got sponsors with him. A lot of sponsors like him.
Going to victory lane a couple times, compete for a championship. That's what he needs to do, and we'll probably see him in the Cup Series in a Tier 2 ride in the years to come.
Yeah, and if he does well in the Xfinity Series next year, it could open up a mediocre Cup ride. Look what Cole Custer did. Now, to be fair, things kind of fell off the rails with Stuart Haas and Tony Stewart backing out, but he was he did win a race his rookie year at Kentucky, kind of lucky, but he did win one, make the playoffs. But then other than that, it was a disaster. That's Stuart Haas. Goes down to the Xfinity Series with Stuart Haas, wins the championship, wins a lot of races. Boom, he's back in the Cup Series again. Obviously circumstances are a little different. If Stuart Haas was still what they were, he'd be in a great organization right now. But he got back in the Cup Series, and he's done decent this year at a few racetracks. But guys need to come back to reality. Hey, let's work on my craft. Let's win some races, build my confidence back up in a lower series, and then hopefully in a year or two, I'll get another opportunity. And that'll be, hey, make it or break it time. This is my last opportunity here. Because Daniel is, 33? He's not young. Yeah, he's not young. So I think 1 or 2 years in Xfinity would do him justice and possibly give him one more chance at the Cup Series in a couple of years. But we'll just have to see where that dynamic goes.
Yes, we will. That's the wrong thing.
R-T-T.
Hit it, bud.
Hit the boot.
Ripping the topics.
RTT, what's on RTT this week there, Riley?
Things and such. In-season tournament. Let's skip this.
Well, you got the things down there. We'll do it real quick. Both of our brackets are fucked now after Chicago, after all of my Final Four are gone, and so is yours, I believe. So, start off Ty Dillon beating Brad. Got that one wrong. Bowman beating Bub. I did get that one right. John Hunter beating Chase Elliott. Got that one wrong. And I got Eric Jones beating Ricky right. But I had Eric out in the first round anyway. But I did have his updated one picked right last week. Had Priest beating Gregson, but I didn't have Priest making it out of Atlanta. So, but my updated one, I guess, is right. I had Reddick beating Hocevar, although I had Reddick beating Blaney, but I did get that one right as well. I got Ty Gibbs beating AJ right, but I had Ty Gibbs again losing to Justin Haley in Atlanta. So, I mean, it's fucked. And then Zane Smith beating Chris Buescher, obviously got that one wrong. So, all my Final Four are gone now. Chris got eliminated. Chase got eliminated. And William and Denny were already eliminated after the first race. So, yeah, all of mine are fucked.
All right, so give us the matchups for this week at Sonoma.
All right, so you got Ty Dillon versus Alex Bowman. You got the legacy cars of John Hunter and Eric Jones. You got Ryan Priest and Tyler Reddick, and you got Ty Gibbs and Zane Smith. Those are your Elite Eight.
Eric Jones and who?
John Hunter. So
And then you got Priest.
Priest and Reddick, and Gibbs and Zane. I'm not even going to pay it, so I'm just going to guess. Fuck it. You know, he's made it this far. I'm going Ty Dillon over Alex Bowman because whatever I think is going to happen, it goes the opposite. I think Ty Dillon beats Alex Bowman. I got John Hunter Nemechek beating Eric Jones. Fuck it. He's better at road course. Fuck, I got hiccups. I got John Hunter is better than Eric Jones at road courses. That don't work. I'll take Tyler Reddick over Ryan Priest. And I'll take Ty Gibbs over Zane Smith.
All right, so you're picking Ty Dillon,
Yep.
John Hunter,
Yep.
Tyler Reddick,
Yep.
and Ty Gibbs.
Yep.
All right, so the only one we're agreeing on is Ty Gibbs. Give me Ryan Priest, Alex Bowman, and Eric Jones to advance. So I've got Bowman, Jones, Priest, and Gibbs.
Have you not watched this tournament so far? Pick the thing that you think won't happen.
Well, fair. Ty Dillon is lucked into making it this far. I think his luck runs out at Sonoma. Alex Bowman has not been bad at road courses, this year. I think he'll be all right this weekend. John Hunter and Eric Jones, I don't expect either of them to be good. So that's
John Hunter is pretty good at road courses.
I don't
man.
expect either of them to be good, so I'm picking just to pick them there. To me, the long shot here is Priest. I think Reddick will have a chance to win the race. He'll be fast, obviously. He's been really good at road courses his whole career. Ryan Priest has stepped up his game. The Roush cars have been good at Sonoma since the next gen has come out. And qualifying is going to be big, I think, at Sonoma because cautions are a premium there. So I will take Priest because he'll probably out-qualify Reddick. Ty Gibbs. Zane Smith's not good at road courses. He got lucky that Chris Buescher blew up. And even then,
He still finished 12th.
Chris Buescher probably had a chance there if
You are underestimating Zane Smith, man.
the pit strategy didn't help Zane Smith.
He's won a road course race at Front Row in the Truck Series. Against the Truck Series.
I could win a Truck Series race at fucking road course.
You could win a Truck Series by yourself at Bristol.
That's not true.
Anyways,
but
so yeah, it's fucked. And overall, your overall overview of this, a lot of people hate the way they've done this.
The
they've ruined
tracks
it.
are fucked.
No, the track. Okay, other than
Atlanta
I
should not
don't
have
like
been week
two.
one.
I don't like two road courses in this.
And Atlanta should not have been week
No, I do like Atlanta being week one because it is supposed to be. It's supposed to be for fun. It's supposed to give you that
But
March
it's not.
Madness
It's
feel.
fucking $1 million at the end of this shit.
Yeah, same thing with college basketball. First round's always the craziest. I like this. I like Atlanta being the first race because it's supposed to be for fun. It's supposed to be chaotic. It's not supposed to be so serious. I feel like in NASCAR sometimes we take everything so seriously because
It's serious.
because the playoff shit is such a
Why
joke.
so
I would rather the
serious?
playoffs be way more serious than this shit.
Yeah, me too.
So I like the Atlanta being the first. I like a round one chaotic race. I don't like the back-to-back road courses. They only have one road course. They need to have a different track type for every race. That's what I would like. And they almost have this. You take out two. If you put
Chicagoland.
if you do this same thing next year and you put Chicagoland right there, I'd love this. I would have not a problem with these.
I think you switch Chicagoland and Atlanta, and it'd be perfect because I think Atlanta and I said this.
So you want a more chaotic race to determine the Elite Eight over than the 16.
I said
that makes a lot of sense.
I said 2 years ago that Atlanta needs to be the 4th of July race. It needs to be a Saturday night, 400 miler.
That's fair. You take out tournament, yeah, that makes more sense.
At Atlanta on 4th of July weekend. The Firecracker 400 at Atlanta. And
Echo Park.
we're good. Fuck Echo Park. It's Atlanta. So you do Chicagoland week 1, Atlanta week 2, Sonoma week 3, Dover week 4, Indy for the final. That's perfect.
I like the setup. Just take out Chicago Street Course.
I think it's dumb. Get rid of the challenge.
Okay, boomer.
Esiason?
All the damn NASCAR old heads hate it. Which, just calm down, guys. Hate the playoff format. Don't hate the in-season tournament. Like, calm
Hate
down.
the player, not the game.
Yeah, do that. I don't know, but yeah, ours is fucked. So we'll have to see what happens this weekend. But
Joey is a character on Friends, but Joey Logano is a race car
how's
driver.
Chandler doing?
Damn. Chandler who? Bing?
Bean.
Bing.
Billy Bean?
Who?
Brandon Bean?
Atlanta?
Bean Dip?
Bean dip. That's a neck. Joey versus Ross.
This is
Ross is also on Friends.
This is a Ross. This is a Ross topic or Ross.
It's a Friends topic. They're not
You
friends.
got a friend in me. They don't. Joey and Ross got into it on Sunday. Austin Cindric came in there like a wrecking ball. Who did the "You Can't Do That" intro? Have you seen any of the video intros yet?
Never seen him.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I watched him.
Oh, okay. I think I did pretty good. The "You Can't Do That." You pinching my nipple at Bristol. That's funny.
I don't recall.
We were both drunk. You blew a motor that day.
Didn't eat anything all day.
Yeah, no, you ate pizza. Drank 32 beers, but still no excuse because I didn't throw up. So, this is kind of like the. It's a racing deal, and at the end of it, just tensions got overflown. Both Ross and Joey drive the same fucking way pretty much, and Joey didn't like that Ross dumped him because Ross almost got spun out by Cindric going in there like a wrecking ball off a restart, nearly spinning Ross, spun out somebody else. In the next corner, Joey passed Ross from Ross by spinning out. Ross goes in there, just cleans out Joey and Ricky Stenhouse in the process. So I'm sure Ricky Stenhouse isn't a fan of Ross as well. That ended Ricky's day there. But yeah, I get Joey's frustration. I don't mind him being frustrated because I want to see emotion out of these drivers. And Joey, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of just a racing deal. Like, I get Joey being mad, but if I'm Ross and it just looks like the 22 drove through you and you got one more corner.
But he didn't.
I know, but
Larson hit him.
no, Joey is the one that ultimately spun Ross out.
No.
But let me hear. But it wasn't Joey's fault. I'm not saying it was Joey's fault. But Joey's the one that ran in the back of Ross and spun him out. Almost spun him out. That's why Joey passed him.
Brother, Ross was in front of Joey on the outside heading into a left-hand turn. The 5 car was on the inside.
Again, I'm not.
The 5 car got hit from behind, got moved up, and tagged Ross in front of the 22 in the left rear corner. He half spun in front of the field, collected it up. The 22 drove by him, and then that shit happened. The 22 had absolutely zero to do with it. Zero.
I need to watch it again because
Watch Joey's in-car. Type in Joey.
No, I saw it. I saw it on Facebook or something the other day. You keep talking. I'll find it.
It was Joey.
I'll find it. Calm down.
There's a video of Joey's in-car. They're going into the turn. It's a left-hand turn. I can't remember what turn it is, but it's a 90-degree left. They're going into the corner. The 5 car gets hit from behind, gets moved up, and tags Ross in the left rear corner panel and turns him quarter spin across the nose of the 20. The 20 goes around him, passes him, and heads down the straightaway. Ross thought that it was the 22 and did what he did. Joey's got nothing to do with it. Nothing. And yeah, I understand why Ross is upset, but you're mad at the wrong guy. I get it. You don't know that in the moment. You think it's the 22. That's fine. But Joey's 100% in the right here. You go to that guy, you tell him, hey, dickhead, I got nothing to do with this. And you cuss him out. You do what you got to do. We got the video pulled up. Bear with us.
That is the wrong one. That was the restart after. It's hard to find shit like this.
It is. It is. I don't know if we can play it or not, but if we can, it will be on the screen.
No, we
if not, it won't.
Well, I could do it with no sound, but I probably will forget. I saw it. I saw the in-car. I just can't remember where I saw it at. Was it on Instagram? Come on. Come on. I can't cut this. Keep talking.
Talk.
Yep, that.
I don't have anything to say because I got to show you the video.
Yeah. I would like to see the video too because here we go. I found it. All right, let's see here. See, there's Priest on it in there. Cindric coming in. Yeah, you're right.
Duh! I wish you could find the in-car. From
That's what I swear I saw the in-car of Joey. Yeah.
I think NASCAR might have posted it on their Facebook.
Well, I just found it. Oh, the in-car.
The in-car
Yeah.
of Joey.
I saw the in-car. Here we go, right here.
All right.
See how it kind of looks like Joey hit him right there?
Joey might have got into him, but
Yeah.
that's not what turned.
I know. That's what for some reason that. Okay.
The 5-car 100.
This is what I saw. So I'm thinking Joey did barely hit Ross, but he wasn't the reason Ross spun out.
The 5-car 100%.
Yeah.
There's no debating.
Well,
this.
the 5, it wasn't the 5's fault.
It's not
either.
the 5.
It was the 2.
It's nobody's fault. It's racing.
It was.
You said it. It's a racing deal.
It was a racing deal, but it was Cindric's
But if you're going to
fault
be
that started all
mad,
that.
you're not mad at Joey because Joey barely even touched you.
Yeah.
You wouldn't even know that Joey was there if it was just you and him.
But you see the 22. You know the 22's right behind you. And you get half sideways coming out of one, and you see the 22 just pass you. You think it is fucking Joey. Joey Logano is not Chris Buescher in this instance, where Chris Buescher really ever does that. Joey Logano has done that shit before.
Sure.
So you got to Joey doesn't get the benefit of the doubt here. Is what I'm going to say.
I get that,
but it's not Joey's fault. Obviously,
But
it's not Ross's. Well, Ross, what he did was his fault.
Ross needs to, and I would say this about everybody, unless it's 100% obvious who done what they did.
I would love to hear the spotter communication between the one,
the payback
between Ross and Brandon McReynolds.
You need, just like you can take this.
Brandon could have said, "Hey, you're sideways here. Hey, get that 22 back." That could have been it.
Well, he needs to be suspended if he did, because they've been suspended spotters for saying shit like that. Just ask Austin Dillon. But what I'm saying is you can look at the Alex Bowman, Bubba Wallace thing at the end of the race. Don't say shit before you know the facts. Alex Bowman talking shit about Bubba before he knew that Bubba was not upset at him was wrong. Now, it makes for good TV. It makes for good content, but it's wrong. And Ross...
Well, Bubba walked right past Bowman when they got out of the cars.
Exactly. He sure did, and didn't say a
so
word
if
to
you're
him.
if you're thinking...
You and everyone else should know that if Bubba's got a problem with you, he's going to fucking tell you.
I don't know. He got suspended for going up to Kyle Larson and pushing him after all was his fault. Maybe you don't want to do that.
Yeah, maybe not. But
it's the heat of the moment. You can't get mad at Alex Bowman for saying what he said.
No, I'm not mad at him. But what's right is right. What's wrong is wrong. Talking shit before you know the facts is wrong.
Which is what everybody does. Every driver does it in the field. Every driver does it in the field. Every one of them.
Most drivers preface it, hey, I haven't seen the replay, but this is what I feel like happened.
I think Bowman said that.
No.
Well, they didn't even need to see a replay. He'd done it for...
Anyways, what I'm telling you
what
is...
Bowman said is he didn't do nothing wrong.
Ross paid back Joey without knowing Joey did anything wrong. He thought Joey did something wrong.
That's fair.
But he paid him back, and he shouldn't have. I get it. You're in the heat of the moment. He's there. You're getting him back. But now you got Joey Logano mad at you, and you're going to be racing this guy
in the playoffs
for no reason.
Oh, I thought you meant like down the road.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You are. You're going to be racing this
Joey
guy.
races hard with everybody.
Sure.
So does Ross.
But Joey wrecks people back when he thinks they deserve it. And
so
Ross has got one coming now.
When Joey got out of his car at the All-Star race and said Christopher Bell drove him dirty, if I would have got back to him, I would have spun him. You had no problem with what he said, but you have a problem with Alex Bowman saying what he said.
That's not what I'm saying.
It's the same thing.
No, because he knows that it was the 20 car. Now, his perception of what was dirty and what was not was wrong. Sure. But he knows who it was. He didn't say, oh, the 5 car drove me dirty and the fucking 5 car was nowhere to be found.
So I dumped the 22. That'd be funny.
No, he didn't. He got out and said, I feel like the 20 car drove me dirty. And then he came back the next day and said, after watching it, what's fair, love and war, right? We're good. He didn't drive me dirty. That was clean.
What if Ross says the same thing? I spun out the wrong guy. My bad.
The damage is already done. You wrecked him. You fucking wrecked him, and he had nothing to do with it. Now, there's no debate that the 22 and the 20 were going at it at the All-Star race. You can debate whether or not the move was dirty. I don't think it was. Joey said he doesn't think it was after watching it. But there's no debate that those two were the two going at it. Ross wrecked the 22, and the 22 had zero to do with Ross wrecking. None.
I get you on that. I agree with you
So
on that.
the one is 100% in the wrong here. And Joey chewing his ass on pit road was 100% deserved. That's all I'm saying. And Ross is owed one. And he's probably going to get one. Because Joey will do it. And it's dumb to make that decision knowing that you're probably going to be out of the round of 16 without some help. And now you got this guy gunning for you. It's a dumb move.
It was a dumb move. But I think at the end of the day, it's kind of just heat of the moment, so quick. Hey, I about wrecked, and I see the 22 pass me. Fuck it. I mean, I'd be upset if I was Joey, too. I'm not arguing. And Ross is way more in the wrong than Joey was. But they're both the same driver. I don't know. Nah, I could be wrong.
How many times have I talked about Dale Earnhardt on this podcast?
If Joey's put in the same position as Ross, he could go in there and do the same fucking thing to Ross as what Ross did to him. I could see that happening with Joey. It's not like Chris Buescher. Chris Buescher doesn't do that. It's two aggressive drivers. Sure. I could see Joey doing the same thing. And I know that's hard to say, well, that didn't happen. I know, but based off precedent, I could see Joey doing the same thing to Ross.
I think what you're missing out on is, yes, I can see 100% Joey Logano going in there and paying somebody back. Yes.
The wrong person.
I don't. Name it.
Huh?
Name it. Name when it's happened.
Name when the time Ross did it other than this weekend.
One is enough.
Okay. All right.
I don't think I've ever seen another drive. I can't. I'm not saying it's not happened. It probably has. You're the fucking guy that could remember who led lap 35 at a fucking 2004 Atlanta race. But I can't think of another time where I've seen a driver wreck the wrong person as payback. I can't think of one. I can't. And I get it. I was about to say, you brought up, two aggressive drivers going at it and, being hypocritical, being mad about that stuff. How many times have I talked about Dale Earnhardt on this podcast? Being the first guy to wreck you.
At least twice.
Being the first guy to wreck you, and then as soon as you drive him dirty, he gets out of the car bitching and moaning. Everybody does it.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Everybody does it.
And to be honest, the one guy that you motherfuckers hate the most does it the least. That's Denny Hamlin. Denny Hamlin doesn't really do that shit. He'll get out of the car and be like, yeah, that's what that was. It happens. Denny will get out of the car and say, man, I love what Ty Dillon said. Yeah, he was talking shit, but that's awesome. I love it.
Well, that's different.
Denny will get out.
Beating somebody in a tournament.
Denny will get out of the car and say, that was Bubba's fault, because that's what he said on his podcast. He blamed it on Bubba, not on Alex. But race fans can't see that. And race fans will take Ross's side because they don't.
I'm not taking Ross's
I'm not
side.
saying you are. I'm just saying these guys will. They will take
I
Ross.
don't like Ross that much either.
They like him more than Joey.
Yeah, that's fair.
And there's no reason. I do not understand the hate for Joey Logano. I do not understand the hate for Denny Hamlin. I do not understand it because this is what you want. These are the type of race car drivers you want. Those two are more Dale Earnhardt than anybody else. And you guys.
Carson. I think Carson's getting there.
Carson doesn't win races.
That's fair.
Carson will be there one day, probably. But Joey is the closest thing. I've said it 100 times. Joey Logano is the closest thing to Dale Earnhardt that we have seen since Dale Earnhardt. He's got 3 championships.
I think Tony was a little bit more.
3.
Tony was a little bit more of Dale than,
maybe,
than Joey is.
Maybe. Those two would probably be on the same level.
Yeah. We've seen Tony
3
go crazy.
championships. He races, nicest guy you've ever met on the, cool guy outside the car, whatever. But on that track, he's the man in black. Joey drives a yellow car, but he drives like Dale Earnhardt. This was not his fault. And him getting out of the car and going after him was 100% justified. And if he fucking sends his ass into turn 11 tire barriers this weekend, the 22 sends the 1, it's 100% deserved.
Not arguing with that. I'm just saying it's kind of a freak deal on a restart. Just pick the wrong guy. And I get it's a bad mistake, but
I'm probably fighting you if you wreck me and I got nothing to do with it. I mean, if you owe me one, you owe me one.
I don't think Joey wants that smoke.
I don't either.
Ask Noah
I don't
Noah
either.
Gregson.
But I've got confidence in my ability against Ross Chastain, and
Y'all about the same weight class and everything. That'd be a hell of a fight.
And that's deserving of an ass whooping.
That's fair. It's the drivers I think that matter in the situation as well, not just it.
I
just
think
the
you have
situation.
to. I think you have to look at every situation as the situation, unless there's beef between those drivers prior. If it's a retaliation, you have to go back to the prior incident.
Well, Ross wasn't driving the Wendy's car, so there was no beef. Next on the agenda, we got the Xfinity race on Saturday. Riley, talk to me about it.
They raced on Saturday.
Next.
Shane Van Gisbergen won the pole, won a race. Big surprise there.
Yeah, the first person to win the pole for both Xfinity and Cup and win the races since Kyle Busch in 2017, I think at Bristol.
Yeah.
So it's been
Makes
a while.
sense to me. Yeah, I mean, it was I think the race on Saturday was better. I watched the whole race.
See, I missed kind of not half of it, but a decent part
I'm
of it.
struggling to remember anything that happened, at all.
Saturday was a long time ago.
I don't remember who finished second.
Connor. Remember he's chasing him down. Couldn't get to him.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, it was a race for sure. It was one of the NASCAR races of all time.
Justin Allgaier broke. Remember that?
I remember there was a lot of pit strategy in it. There were some guys there that shouldn't have been there for a little while, and then there were some guys that weren't there when they should have been. I know Jeb Burton was up there for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, Shane Van Gisbergen is the best NASCAR or best road course racer in NASCAR. Went down and got that 9 car and won. He's racing it again this weekend.
Is he?
So
I know that.
good luck to the field on that. But, it's, it was definitely one of the NASCAR races.
That is fair. Not a lot happened from what I'm seeing.
I don't really remember anything crazy.
Sieg finished last.
He broke.
Him and Sawalich got in a wreck, didn't they? Sawalich second to last. Anthony Alfredo third to last. Those are some bigger guys. They had to have a problem. I just can't remember what
Sure
it
they
was.
did.
Taylor Gray, 34th. He had a problem too. So Jack Perkins, bad day for Joe Gibbs Racing Saturday. Three other guys, 32nd or worse.
DiBenedetto was fast there for a little while. I think he had a mechanical issue.
I think he ran in. He hit the wall or something. He spun out or pounded the tires or something. I remember that. Or just drove right into the barrier. I can't remember what it was. Carson had he got some damage, I think, earlier on in the race.
Sanchez was quick at one point.
Yeah.
Uh,
Jesse Love was leading there until Shane passed him.
Sheldon Creed was all right. There was some racing
Yeah.
on Saturday.
Yeah, just Shane just kind of it was a Shane and Connor show, what you kind of expect when both those guys are in a Xfinity race together on a road course. You're gonna have the same thing this weekend. Those two guys are gonna be battling for the lead. Austin Hill historically has been very good at Sonoma. Almost won the race.
He was pretty good at
he finished
on Sunday,
4th or 5th. Or
and he was pretty good on Sunday too.
Yeah, got top 10 for his one off with RCR, or at least his first, or maybe his second. I don't remember. He
I think he ran the 500.
Might ran the 500, but yeah, just a decent, good race. Just not a lot. I mean, Shane and Connor just kind of dominated the race. So Junior Motorsports continues to dominate the Xfinity Series this year. I think that's now, 5 or 6 different drivers to win in the 9 car this year. Or no, not the 9 car, for Junior Motorsports this year. So that's, I think, a record for the series, the most drivers winning in an organization. So that's cool on their end. And they're the dominant team in the sport right now in the Xfinity Series. And for years, it's always been Joe Gibbs Racing been the dominant force. But, you know, their driver lineup's not quite as good as Junior Motorsports right now. And, you know, they got an all-star car that they run every week, which got different drivers. Got good drivers like Eric Almirola, but then you got a guy that ran this weekend in the 19. He's a road course specialist, but he does not use these cars, and Jack Perkins. So he had a bad day. So Junior Motorsports is clearly head and shoulders above the field right now. Now, when playoff time comes, it might not matter because the playoffs are weird, and you could have a guy, if a Junior Motorsports car does not win the championship this year, it'd be not a disgrace, but it shouldn't happen based off how good they've been this year. So Shane got off to the right foot on Saturday by winning the Xfinity race, and it kind of carried on to Sunday and gave him even more of an advantage on the field. I think when guys do double duty, even though the Cup and Xfinity guys or cars are so different, I think these type of tracks, these type of races on road courses where rhythm is so important, getting a rhythm at a track where you're just not that comfortable in, I think it matters a lot. For getting just track time. So double duty, Shane, that definitely helped him to win the race on Sunday. Now, he probably would have won the race on Sunday regardless if he raced on Saturday, but it definitely did not hurt his cause for going for sweeping the weekend, and that's what he did on Sunday or Saturday and Sunday. So, yeah, I think the booth was solid with Adam, and AJ Allmendinger was up there in the booth with Parker and Adam. AJ was pretty good. I think he was solid. Not the best driver that they've had up there, but he's definitely not the worst. So, yeah, overall, it was just kind of another NASCAR Xfinity race on a road course. Solid, not great, but the best guy won it. The best 2 guys finished 1 and 2. So, and Connor was chasing him down at the end, just couldn't get there in time. So, I think Connor probably had a little bit of a better car, to be honest with you. But Shane got it done at the end, held him off. So,
yeah.
What are you looking at?
Facebook.
Oh my God!
Fucking blabbing.
Is that
lean beef patty?
She in the NASCAR video game?
Should be.
Got some NASCAR 25.
Tell me about it, because I don't know what the fuck you talking about.
Well, there's just some drivers last weekend and this past weekend, talking about playing the game a little bit. Noah Gregson tweeted out saying, "Man, you guys are going to love this new game. It's really good." William Byron got a screenshot of William Byron playing it a little bit. I think Anthony Alfredo tweeted out, this game's going to be, really good. You guys are really going to enjoy it. The physics are great. All that stuff. So if you don't know,
what's Real Radman saying about it?
I haven't watched that guy in months. Since he started working for NASCAR, he's got to watch what he says.
He's
now.
always been a bitch.
He works for NASCAR now. You know that, right?
Good for him.
Yeah. So I don't even watch him no more. He's got to tone down what he says. Maybe not. I haven't really watched him, but he usually race reviews, do a lot of other stuff. He don't really do it no more.
What if Racing saying about it?
I hope that guy is still living. Do you think Winval will come out with a 25 series? I hope he does. The game's good.
I don't know. He's done 2 IndyCar races in 6 months, so
yeah, probably done. And he's supposed to do another Dick Piston season on NASCAR road to Daytona, Dirt to Daytona, because he lost the championship to Sterling Mullen a couple months ago. But we'll see. But yeah, I think a lot of positive reviews coming out of this. Now I get the drivers are not going to come out and say, "Oh, this game fucking sucks. Don't buy it." I think that hurts NASCAR. It hurts the sport, because video games are a very important aspect of building your fan base for younger kids. And with not a lot of known sponsors or kid-friendly sponsors out there in NASCAR no more, you need video games to try to get these guys engaged, these kids engaged in your sport. So this game is huge. It's been hyped up for now 2 years. We saw the disaster of NASCAR 21 Ignition. It was terrible. I absolutely unplayable for the first month till they fixed a lot of shit, and it still wasn't even that good. Go back to the Heat series. I was never a fan of it. The physics, the graphics, it just wasn't. I was never a huge fan of the Heat series. The Technics games were probably the best that we've had in recent memory, but there were so many glitches, and the replay would never work, and it was just very bare bones. There wasn't a lot of stuff in those games. Good racing physics, but other than that, you didn't have a whole lot. And then you go back to the Thunder days.
Other than the short tracks.
You go back to the Thunder days, and that's the last time it was good. But even the last few Thunder games, which they weren't called Thunder, they were just NASCAR 05, 06, 07, 08, 09. They were kind of bare bones as well. So we have a really good NASCAR game in over 20 years. So this is huge. iRacing has done it. Dale Jr.'s been putting his stamp on it, been doing a lot of involvement. The soundtrack's supposed to be really good. A lot of deep dive career mode things that you're supposed to be able to do. The racing itself is supposed to not be broken. The O-line play is supposed to be pretty good. So, we should get a trailer either into this month or into August. The trailer won't give out everything, because I got hooked on the NASCAR 21 Ignition trailer.
I did too.
I thought it was going to be awesome, and it turned out to be shit. So even if the trailer comes out next month or the end of this month and it's really good, still got to kind of temper your expectations. But I have a better feeling about this than I have in a long time about the video game, and I hope it's good, because I've been dying to play a NASCAR console video game. It's been a long time, so I'm hoping it's good. I trust iRacing for the most part. I think they should do a really good job at it. I don't expect it to be perfection, but as long as it's playable and I have fun playing it, and there's a decent career mode, I'll take it. We need to get in that video game stuff again. It's more important than having a new college football game, because people still watch college football, no matter if you had a video game or not, the past 10 years before they had the new one last year. NASCAR is so important. It's a dying sport. It's not dying as much anymore, but if you get a good video game to attract these younger fans, you get new fans, and you should be able to stick with them. I mean, Eric Estep, one of the most famous NASCAR YouTuber out there, he started watching NASCAR when he got the NASCAR 04, I think it was 04, video game, and he started playing as Matt Kenseth. And right there, then and there, he was a Matt Kenseth fan, and he see what he does now. So if you get that, you get a good video game, you can get a lot of new viewers and new fans in the sport. So I'm hoping good things about it. Still hold my breath, but I'm hoping it's going to be good.
Yeah, and I don't want to say I'm not looking forward to it, because I am, but I am more cautiously optimistic about this one than I have been for the other ones. NASCAR Heat, the first one that came out, I think we talked about it. I think, it was, 2017, 18? 16?
16.
And, I was super excited for that game. And you said, don't buy it, it's going to suck. And I said, no, you're wrong. And I bought it, and it sucked. And then, it got progressively better for the couple years, and then it kind of leveled out and never was really great.
Yeah, Heat 4 was the best one.
And
then Heat 5 was pretty much the same thing.
Yeah.
As Heat 4.
And, then Heat went away. And then they came out with the Ignition game, and I was really excited with it, because, I watched the video of them, displaying the graphics in that game. And graphics are the easiest way to, hook somebody, I think, in video games. Is if you show good graphics, people believe it's a good game, whether it is or not. You don't show any gameplay, you show the graphics, people will be like, wow, this looks really good. They put a lot of time into this.
Yeah.
It's going to be good.
Yeah.
And I was hooked. And I'm buying this game day one. I'm going to take a day off work. I'm playing this shit. It's going to be great. And then they released the gameplay trailer, month or whatever it was before the game came out. And I was done. Like, I could tell right away, like, this is not it. You had Spotter saying shit that was just dumb, didn't make any sense. Just really, like...
The scoreboard was all fucked up.
Yeah, it was just, you could tell if you're a NASCAR fan that the game wasn't right. So I have still, to this day, yet to drive a single lap in that game. Will not play it.
I haven't either.
So with this game, I'm excited because iRacing's making it, and I trust iRacing. I love iRacing. The graphics don't look super great, to be honest, from what I've seen, from the screenshot that they took of the 24 playing it. It looks kind of weird to me. But I think in some kind of weird way that it's a good thing that I'm not super excited about this game, because I don't think they've shown us anything to lie to us.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they're trying to show, the 1 millisecond of gameplay that makes the game look good to the masses. I think they think the game's gonna sell itself because it's quality. And I think that's a good thing, because, like I said, if they were showing us, trying to hype this game up more than it should be, it would be setting off a red flag that isn't there. Yeah. So I don't think my hype is quite as high as the past couple games because of them not hyping me up for it. But I think in the long run, that's a good thing. And I do think that this is going to be, year one, the best game that we've seen in a long time. And it's only going to get better. I've played a lot of the iRacing online stuff. I do 90% of my iRacing. I do online with other people that I don't know, which is where iRacing shines. But I've done some of the AI stuff, and their AI is not bad. So I think if they can...
It's gotten a lot better than when they first started.
I think if they can incorporate the AI from iRacing into the video game, not the simulator, but into the video game, still keep some of the simulation stuff, but make it a little bit easier for console players, I think they're going to have a home run with this. And it's going to come down to the career mode, because the reason people love NASCAR 2004, at least the reason I love NASCAR 2004, is because that career mode is amazing. It's start from the ground up. You suck. I mean, you're awful. You struggle to keep up with the draft at Daytona.
If you have the hardest difficulty.
You go to Rockingham, and it's tough. I mean, there's a couple tracks year one that you'll be okay at.
You are Rick Ware racing.
You'll finish in the 20s.
Most of the time.
But you're bad. Like, you're real bad. Unless, like, a caution happens, you do some fuel strategy, you're finishing in the 30s most week. And if they can implement a way that the game is hard enough to give you a challenge, but easy enough to play and fun enough that you're like NASCAR 2004 year one, you're happy when you finish 25th.
Yeah.
You're happy. You're celebrating that.
Yeah.
NASCAR Heat, those games, you're mad when you finish 25th.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to win every race, especially when you get a year into, your car's good enough. You should win every race, like legitimately. And if they can figure out a way to implement a career mode where you're competitive, but you're happy with a 10th place finish, and you win a race here or there, and you make it to the playoffs, that's what I think is going to hook people, especially, NASCAR fans like us. Because I don't know about you, I don't want to win every race. I want to fight tooth and nail for a 10th place finish. I want to I could finish 10th here, if I take 4 tires on this last stop, or I could take 2, take the lead, maybe move up to 5th, but it's going to be a problem, holding on to this car. I want that, because you could do that in NASCAR 2004. It's all about replicating what you see on Sunday and giving enough challenge to keep your attention, but not making it so hard that you can't compete. That's the medium. They're gonna have to hit the career mode.
I also think I agree with you, but a lot of I could be speaking out of my ass here. With the younger generation and how short their attention spans are,
they want the instant gratification.
They want that instant gratification. That's what I hope they don't do. That's what the Heat games kind of did. You were decent off the start. You weren't the best car, but like you said, it didn't take too long to get to the top car in the series while you're doing a career mode. You had to grind in 04. You had to grind in 03, 02. Even early in Texas games, 2011, you weren't great at a lot of tracks. 2012, same thing. You weren't great at a lot of tracks to start. And that's why I hope iRacing in this game doesn't jump the gun. It's like, we got to make it a little easier because we don't want these kids turning it off because they're always finishing last every week. That's what I'm afraid of. But I want that. Have an option of having, if you just want to go out there and win every race and whatever, then have an option like that. Turn the difficulties way down or something for those guys.
That's what I like about a lot of the sims that are out on PC is that they have like NASCAR Heat had the difficulty slider went up to 105, right? But 105 was not hard enough.
At some tracks.
At some tracks, it's pretty difficult. Like, if you didn't put a setup in, it was going to be tough.
Yeah.
Right? But if you raced, there were some tracks where it didn't matter what the difficulty setting was. You're going to win the race if you don't wreck.
Yeah.
And I think if you put the difficulty at 105, it should be fucking hard. Like, it should be a struggle to finish top 10. Yeah. A struggle. Like, you should really have to...
Other than the super speedways.
Yeah, you should really have to put some practice in, put a setup in the car, practice, hit your marks, drive a perfect race. Like, it should be hard. Those guys should be fast. And, especially NASCAR video games, obviously a passion of both of ours. NASCAR, obviously a passion of both of ours in general. But, I want to have to go into practice, set up the car, and hit my marks and make it difficult. But there's a balance, right? You can't make it so hard that you qualify last, and that's the problem with NR 2003, in my opinion, which I've been playing a lot more of here recently, is I will put a setup in the car and be in practice, I'll have a top 10 car in practice. I'll go into qualifying, change it to the qualifying setup, tighten it up or loosen it up a little bit, put some tape on a grill, do what you do, for a qualifying setup, and I will be seconds off of the qualifying pace, like qualify last. But in the race, I'm top 5. Like, I'm the fastest car in the race. And it's not fun because I qualify last. Now I got to drive my way through the field, but it's so difficult to get through the field without wrecking that it's just not worth doing. So there has to be a happy medium somewhere in there, with the qualifying pace and the setup pace, and there has to be a happy medium with the difficulty to hook people but not make it so easy that you win everything. And if they can nail that, which is going to be difficult, I'm not saying that it's not, and if there's anybody on the earth that can do it, I think it's iRacing, because they've got the iRacing stuff. they are they're essentially Papyrus. Papyrus turned into iRacing that made NR 2003. They've got the last 20 years of failures in NASCAR games to look back on. They've been building this game for a while. They've not rushed it. They've got Dale Jr., which is an avid sim racer, but also an avid video game player that
Understands
that can
the
understand
dynamic
both
of it.
sides of
Yeah.
things. I think NASCAR and iRacing can find that happy medium. The problem is do they see the reason to? And are they looking to sell games to the younger generation and make the most money?
Yeah.
Because if so, it's going to be too easy. Or are they trying to make an authentic NASCAR experience? Which, if so, might not sell as much, but will be a better game.
And I think down the road it will be better
Yeah.
if it is like that. I agree with you. Let's have to see. Like I said, it'll probably come out, I think, in late September, early October
Something like
is the expected release dates.
Which I'm surprised there's not a date yet. But
Yeah. So, like you said, they're not rushing it. So I do like that aspect of it. So let's have to see. Anyways, hit that button for Attaboy.
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 Attaboy. Chris Buescher.
What?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Chris Buescher. Whenever you have a car that can win the race and you have mechanical issues and you're riding around, because when he had that mechanical issue, it was under caution for that wreck on the backstretch.
The
On the
backstretch.
backstretch. On
Although they had a backstretch.
whatever the
Chicago
fuck,
street
whatever
this
the
weekend.
fuck, wherever the wreck was.
Like turn 10 or
yeah,
something?
Yeah, it was on the back side of the track.
Yeah, near the, yeah.
And, they had that wreck. They parked it. They went to Chris under red flag, his radio, and he said, something fuck up with his car. They pit under the caution when they lifted the red flag. Realized that so they pulled the ECU, put a new one in it, downloaded the info off the old one, realized that the problem was internal and it was not anything they could fix. I don't think they've released exactly what it was. They probably won't. But something was internal. Motor was a miss. Down on power. Bad day, right? Lap down early in the race. Runs the rest of stage one. A lap down. Only car lap down, gets his lap back. Kind of rides around a little bit most of stage two. Almost makes it. I think he finished 11th in stage two. Now, granted, there's some pit strategy there, but almost finished in the top 10 to get some stage points in stage two. And then, making a lot of passes throughout stage three. Pit strategy ended up hurting him at the end there, I think. He ended up pitting when he shouldn't have towards the end of that, the last caution there. He pitted, and I don't think he should have, but he did. Ended up finishing 18th, which for Chris at a road course, not great. However, in the grand scheme of things, with what could have happened, give up on the day, hey, this motor's broke, we're going to pull it in, going to retire the car, we're just going to put around at the back, not try to compete, whatever. Scored some really, really good points for what he was driving. And if this comes down to, which it might, if the playoffs come down to points at the end for 16th, this might be a race you look back on for Chris for the reason he ended up making it. You think of other guys at the cut line had bad days, right? Bubba Wallace to be the most important one. Only 2 points to the good now above Ryan Preece. He's the last car on the cut line. That could have easily been Chris Buescher had he not salvaged a decent finish, top 20 finish, out of a day that at the beginning of the day looked like he was going to finish in the 30s. So I get it. There's other guys up there, SVG. There's a lot of guys that had really good days. But these are the type of races that you need in a NASCAR season where not everything goes your way, but you still find a way. And I give credit to those guys because that couldn't have been fun for Chris to drive that car knowing you're down on power, especially when you know you have a car capable of doing a lot more. So, attaboy Chris Buescher. I think in a couple weeks, couple months, we're going to be looking back at this race as a turning point or maybe not a turning point, but a very important day for Chris in the grand scheme of things if he ended up making the playoffs.
I'm going to give my attaboy to Catherine Legg. My leg. Getting a 20th place finish on Sunday's huge for her and that BJ McLeod racing team. Got off to a rough start on Saturday, got a little bit of damage from practice, and then had to qualify her way into the show. Like I said, there was 41 cars in the field this past weekend, and she had to beat Corey Heim. Granted, he had damage from his accident in qualifying, but that's a lot of pressure to go put on yourself when you know you got to beat a guy that has damage, and you should beat him because he has damage, and one little mistake, and you're fucked. So good job putting it in the show on Saturday, and then on Sunday, just avoiding all the chaos. Had trouble early on in the race, spun out, I think, going into one, but didn't hurt her confidence at all. Just kind of maintained her race, didn't do nothing crazy, avoided the crazy restarts, avoided all the crazy wrecks, and let other people take themselves out. And at the end of the day, got a top 20 finish, finishing 20th. That is a great job by Catherine Legg and that whole race team. She's had a lot of rough moments this year, but this one is definitely the best moment she's had in NASCAR this year, and she should have held her head up high on Sunday leaving Chicago. She did a great job. Top 20 in a NASCAR Cup race at a road course is not easy to do, and they did a good job, and she did a good job all day maintaining and surviving, and at the end of the day, she got a top 20. So great job by Catherine Legg. All the pressure got put on her on Saturday, and then on Sunday to back it up with the top 20 was very, very impressive for Catherine Legg. So attaboy, or attagirl, I should say, to Catherine Legg.
You can't do that.
You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that from Chicago this past weekend. Give me NASCAR officiating yet again. Just not being consistent and it's mind-boggling of me trying to understand what they're thinking when they throw the cautions or not throw the cautions at some of these tracks. And again, I feel like the Josh Berry thing, him slamming in the wall, his damn front side of his car poking down towards the bottom of the track. Clearly, he wouldn't be able to drive it back. I don't think. Well, it's hard to say if he could have drove it back, but he was stuck. The street course, sharp corners. That's dangerous for the drivers to come across there, even if with the spotters telling them, "Hey, 21's broke down here for 2 laps," and then you throw the caution, allowing the Toyotas to come down pit road and get an advantage on the rest of the field there on fuel and stuff. And that was a disgrace. You throw the caution. If you throw the caution, throw it. Give him, I don't know, 15, 20 seconds. If he pulled it away, throw it now. Throw it then. Like 15, 20 second buffer. It's yeah. And but 2 laps and then you throw it is just ridiculous to me. I know he moved it a little bit out of the way, but he still couldn't get it going. So that was a disgrace. And then I've gone back and forth with the Cody Ware thing. I thought I understood it, but after seeing the replays and how hard he hit that fucking tire barrier, seeing the smoke roll out when we first saw it on TNT, there's no... NASCAR always preaches about safety, and Cody Ware creamed those tires, going like 140 miles an hour, just straight in the tire barriers. It looked terrible from a fan in the right near the turn there. Just Cody flying past him before he hits the tire barrier. And they waited 35 seconds, waiting for Shane to take the white flag, and then even waited a little bit after that before they threw the caution to end the race ultimately. Like, I get, like, you had rain and lightning possibly in the area, fog rolling in. I get you want to get the race in, but NASCAR always preaches safety, and they did the exact opposite for both these instances on Sunday, which is ridiculous of how bad NASCAR officiating has gotten these past 5-6 years. Like, I've always been the proponent of, if it's a caution now, if it's a caution in 2 laps, it's a caution now. Don't wait to throw it and let the teams kind of jump ahead of other teams on strategy and determine, have the outcome of the race be affected by when you want to throw the caution, by when you want to hit that button. And not that button. But, it's a joke. NASCAR officiating is the worst it's been, I think, ever. He had Cody Ware that could have been really hurt down there, and you needed to, dispatch ambulances to his assistance. He threw a caution with 20 to go because a fan was dying in the stands. You threw that one pretty quickly, but you don't throw a fucking caution when Cody Ware comes piling into the damn tire barriers, 150 miles an hour, and you wait 30 seconds. It just don't make no sense. And believe me, I didn't want to see that caution. I don't want to see it. I want Shane to win. He's my pick, and he got Toyotas behind him, so I don't want Toyotas to win. You know how I feel about Toyotas. So I didn't want that to be a caution.
Reddick would have won the race.
But it's the right thing to do. You see how hard. Go back if you ain't seen it. Go back and watch Cody Ware how hard he hit them fucking barriers. He smacked the shit out of them tire barriers, and so NASCAR officiating gets it yet again. It's been a while till last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was. I gave it to him again. I'm giving it to him again this week. I want consistency. I want to understand when. It's kind of like the pass interference rule in football. You kind of, or the catch rule in football. You kind of don't really understand it. It's like that in officiating, but it's in a whole. You only got one thing to really officiate, other than maybe restarts and stuff. That's the only thing you got to officiate is when to throw the cautions. It's a caution now, and a caution in 2 laps. It should be a caution now instead of backwards. But you know what I mean. So NASCAR officiating, again, drops the ball, and just glad Cody Ware wasn't hurt, because if he was hurt and then they waited 35 seconds and he needed assistance right then and there, NASCAR would be looking very bad. They got lucky that Cody is okay, but yeah, just a disgrace, just a terrible result for NASCAR officiating again this weekend in Chicago.
Yeah, I agree. And this was going to be mine as well, and I had a bit of a rant planned for this, and you covered a bunch of what I was going to say. The Josh Berry incident was dumb, just really stupid middle of the race. Obviously, that car wasn't going nowhere. He tried, wasn't going, and they let him go, and it just didn't make any sense. I thought it was over, and I give NASCAR the benefit of the doubt in the Josh Berry situation, because like you said, they're trying to allow. I would rather them allow drivers the opportunity to drive it back than not. I think NASCAR should be, especially with how safe these cars are, and I said this after the Connor Zillitz incident at Talladega in the Xfinity Series, safety is a concern for NASCAR, but it isn't. Like, it's very, very rare that somebody's injured in a wreck. Now, Connor Zillitz ended up being injured in that wreck, but he didn't know it while he got out of the car and he was fine. It was the next day that he realized that something was off. But, in the Josh Berry incident, safety not really an issue there as far as his own health. The safety is going to come into play when other cars are getting on scene of a wreck, right? And he was kind of out of the way, so I'll give NASCAR the benefit of the doubt for not throwing the caution there, because I would rather see a race not have a caution if it's not necessary. However, they have been racing at Chicagoland for 3 years now.
Chicago Street.
Yeah, Chicago Street Course for 3 years now. And we've seen a car here or there get, dumped into the tire barrier, head on into the tire barrier that can get out. There was one last year that did. I think it was Kyle Larson maybe. Hit the tire barrier, backed his way out, and was good. But for the most part, if you hit the tire barriers, you're stuck. Like, especially head on. Like, you're in them hose. Like, you're not coming out of that. And to me, tires up to the roof, as it was on Cody's car, like, that car's not coming out. And I don't care what he does, that car's stuck, whether it can still drive or not. And, that should be a caution automatically, because you should know that car's stuck there. Number two if we are concerned about safety, like we were with Connor Zilic in the Talladega race, you throw in the fucking caution flag before he even hits the wall. Like, how are we not here? Like, Cody Ware hit that shit a ton. Like, a ton. You said it in your speech. Like, the motherfucker did not have brakes, was running full speed down the front stretch, or whatever fucking long straightaway it was. And
It was going into 6.
yeah,
Yeah, it was 6.
The back stretch, if you will. And just creams the tire barrier at essentially full speed because,
I think they clocked it like 100 miles an hour.
I mean, just crushed.
Because they did hit the wall at first, slowing down a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, essentially full speed. Now, he wasn't. Maybe he scrubbed off 20, 30 mile an hour.
Yeah.
But still, 100 mile an hour impact into a tire barrier should be cause for concern. If it's cause for concern that Zilic hits the wall at Talladega at essentially the same speed. And, you know, I don't get how you can, you know, you've got TNT, and I talked about this earlier. You got TNT showing it on TV, which they miss most of the shit that happened. Which they're going to be you can't do that. But, and I'll get into that in a minute. But you got TNT showing with a lap and a half left, you know, the SVG is half a lap away from taking the white flag. You're watching Cody Ware sitting inside the tire barrier. Now, granted, at this time, you don't see how he got there, but he's stuck in the wall. Like, he's stuck there. And he's not going anywhere. It is a safety issue. And I feel like, and again, I'm okay with Shane winning the race. He deserved to win the race. He would not have won the race had the caution come out. I think Tyler Reddick wins that race if the caution comes out. But Cody Ware is balls deep in this wall. NASCAR waits to throw the caution until after SVG takes the white. And the only reason they throw the caution is because, I don't know if you know this or not, Cody Ware drops the window net and gets out before they throw the caution. And, like, the fucking car is done. It's cooked. It lost brakes. It hit the wall at 100 mile an hour. And you got a guy getting out on a live racetrack because he expects the caution to be out. Like, what the fuck do you need to throw? If you're going to throw a caution for Connor Zilic hitting the wall when he's out of the way for safety.
You could say the same thing about that with Cody, though. He was out of the way.
Not really, because another car could get there.
Yeah, that's true.
Another car is not going to come down there and hit Connor Zilic with half a lap to go when they've already passed him by the time he's at the wall.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And the safety crew is going to get to Connor at the same speed, essentially, give or take 10 seconds, 20 seconds, whatever it takes them to finish the lap.
Which I think cancels out this with 35 seconds.
At least 35 seconds.
Yeah.
Probably more. And, you know, like you said, Cody Ware is fine, but it's ridiculous that you've got this not being a caution. You've got the 21 not being a caution. And we can point at 1,000 different examples in the past 10 years, 6, 7 years. Who was it at Texas a couple years ago that got close to the wall?
Ricky Stenhouse.
At the All-Star race. Got close to the wall. Some fucking dust blew up.
Ryan
And they threw a
Blaney,
caution.
10 feet from the crossing the finish line, threw the caution.
Ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I think there's one in the Xfinity series, too, that now that I'm thinking about it, that was kind of dumb. But, like...
The Parker, when Parker was going to win the Roval last year, same thing, tires.
Well, there was one this weekend in the Xfinity series that I saw.
They did the opposite for Parker. They waited like 20 seconds. Somebody was buried in the tire barrier in the Roval last year. They waited till
Kligerman.
Parker... That's what I'm saying. Parker was leading the race.
Yeah.
Not Parker was in the tires. Parker was almost to the white flag, and they threw it right before he gets there.
Yeah. So, you know, it's just the inconsistency. I don't give a fuck. Like, I would rather... If you're not going to throw it, don't throw it. But don't fucking piss on me and telling me it's raining that you care about safety when you don't. You care about who's winning the race. And it's better for NASCAR that Shane won the race. That's what happened. And I'm okay that Shane won the race. He deserved to win the race. And it's better for NASCAR that the race finished under caution right there after he took the white, because they didn't have to worry about rain, and they didn't have to worry about weather, and they didn't have to worry about darkness. They didn't have to worry about any of that. Hey, they'll take the white here. We'll throw the caution. It is what it is. That's what it was. You can't tell me that they didn't see it, because that's what NASCAR said.
You can't say the impact of
We
it.
didn't see it. Bullshit.
Yeah, bullshit.
There's a fucking guy waving the flag, the blue flag, and his arm nearly gets taken off because the motherfucker comes in at 120 mile an hour and hits the wall. NASCAR knew that there was a car sitting there. They didn't care because it didn't fit what they wanted to accomplish. And that's bullshit. It's the reason I hate the NBA. They don't call fouls at the beginning of the game that they call at the end of the game. NASCAR does not call cautions at the beginning of the race that they call at the end of the race. If it's a caution on lap 1, it needs to be a caution on lap 151.
Oh, yeah, if that happens,
whatever it
if
was.
that happens lap 5, that's immediate.
That's a caution before he hits the fucking wall.
More than likely, yeah.
And it's just stupid that NASCAR continues to do this shit. Granted, there had been a ton of examples this year. We've been easier on them this year, I think, that I can remember.
Whatever it was.
There had been a ton of these issues.
Yeah, I gave it to him a couple weeks ago for something.
Yeah, it was the first time all year.
Yeah.
But it's just egregious. Like, it's egregious. Throw the fucking caution if it's a caution. Don't if it's not.
Briscoe at Pocono.
Yes.
When he pitted. I think it was McDowell or somebody.
Yes.
Yeah, the car was sitting there on the front stretch for 2 laps.
It's ridiculous. I agree. NASCAR, you can't do that. Honorable mention for me is going to be the 77 for, destroying half the field's race for some bullshit. Ended Brad's day, ended a bunch of dudes' day, and very stupid. You're driving like it's the last lap of the Indy 500 when you're 3 laps into a Chicago street course. Very stupid. However, I'm giving mine to TNT 2 weeks in. This is awful. The booth's fucking up. Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been bad, getting people's names wrong frequently. The reporting's been but really, the production has been as bad, if not worse, than Fox. I mean, we're looking at the Chicago skyline. We're looking at first place having half a second lead when we've switched. There's a guy coming down a straightaway into a passing zone. The guy pulls out to make the pass. We switch, and we're watching the guys go through that fucking little carousel corner a half a second apart when there's passing that you were about to show on television. But you didn't.
I remember Dale Jr. saying something about, there comes, I think it was a 60, Ryan Priest. Priest looking to pass whoever. They cut to fucking second place.
You got 100 examples of those during the weekend where the guys on the TV are not talking about what's on the TV because the fucking production crew switches the camera for some reason. The action is where the commentators are talking about it. What is going on with NASCAR broadcasting in the past couple of years where they don't stand that I want to see the pass? I don't give a fuck if it's for 10th or if it's for fucking 35th. If there's racing on the track, I want to see the racing. I don't want to see the leader leading the race. I don't care. If there's no action, don't show it. Now, if there's nothing going on, show me the leader. Show me what he's doing. We'll talk about why he's leading. But if there's passing going on in the fucking top 15, show me that. That's what I want to see. So, it is what it is. I mean, we're going to watch these races no matter who broadcasts them, but it's pathetic these days. And TNT's starting to piss me off already. I can't wait for NBC to come back and be almost as good as Amazon Prime. Amazon Prime's the only one this year that's going to do it right. And even they had some downfalls sometimes, but at least their production was good. And I'm tired of it. I don't give a fuck what the crowd's doing. I don't give a fuck what the Chicago street course looks like from 30,000 feet above. I don't care about the fucking sky rises that are in the background looking over the hill. I don't give a fuck. Show me the racing. I'm tuning into a NASCAR race to watch the race. That's it.
Yeah. For all you YouTube fans out there, our card got full, so I'll just have, I guess, the logo in black with the rest of this. So we apologize for that, but went a little long this week. Got a lot of monkeys off our backs. A lot of gripes we've had, so we do apologize for that. But yeah, it's a good one. I've not been happy with TNT. Last week it wasn't great. Audio mixing was terrible. This week it wasn't audio mixing. It was about everything else. So I agree. Dale Jr.'s not been great. And like I said, the production's not been, the camera angles have just been god awful. I agree with you on that one, just like Fox. So we got Sonoma this weekend, wine country, Northern California. Second year of this repave. Riley, what are you expecting?
I'm expecting more of the same as what we've seen so far in road course racing. I think SVG is going to be the guy to beat. I think you have guys like Chris Buescher and Kyle Larson, Tyler Reddick. The normal guys at road courses. Christopher Bell probably be pretty good. I think you'll expect that. I don't really see cautions being a big deal as far as wrecks. Of course, the stages will come into play as far as fuel strategy and tire strategy goes. But all in all, I think it's going to come down to qualifying and who flips what stages and if tires matter, which I don't think they will that much. So I think qualifying is going to be huge. I think not making mistakes on pit road as far as your 2 pit stops go, and we'll see where the strategy cycles out. I think it's going to come down to one of those guys, Chris Buescher, SVG, Tyler Reddick, the guys I named earlier, who comes off pit road first, and who's got the track position at the end of the race. I think that's what's going to end up winning it.
Yeah, this race last year actually wasn't too bad for a repave. Obviously, you had Larson probably had the best car all day, but you had Truex right there with him, which obviously Truex not racing anymore. But the 19 car should be good. Briscoe's a pretty good road course racer in himself. Obviously Chris trying to use a strategy there towards late in the race, leading it late, trying to hold off Larson and couldn't do it. Fuel strategy came down a little bit. Truex running out of gas on the white flag and all that stuff. Sonoma's probably one, maybe other Watkins Glen, where fuel mileage could be a problem. Seems like it's the most problem on road courses is Sonoma and Watkins Glen. But the stages, according to when the natural cautions happen, where it could get a little tricky on fuel. Obviously, I'm looking at Larson. He's won here quite a bit since he's got to Hendrick. He's probably one of the favorites. So is SVG. Although I think SVG is not going to win this weekend. I think the drivers this weekend, after him beating their asses in Mexico and then him winning again this weekend, go to a NASCAR road course where they got way more experience than Shane. I think that'll wind up paying dividends for those guys. Shane will still be up there, but I think the good drivers and the good road course racers, I think, will be able to fight back a little bit on SVG this weekend. But it'd be interesting to see what guys decide to take the points, stage points. If Buescher thinks if he's up in their top 5, does he go for stage points? Does he go for the win? I think he should go for the win, and I'm sure they will based off how they've been talking this year. They want wins, but Bubba Wallace, some guys that are kind of on the edge of the top 10, top 15, they take stage points and fall back, and you never know. Or does SVG try to get another stage point and give up track position, just trying to get more stage point or playoff points for the playoffs? He already got 2 wins now this year. It could change the outcome of the race as well. But it should be a decent race. This is the latest Sonoma race we have run in the year, I think, ever. Usually we'd run it first, second week of June. Run it the first, second week of July. So it should be a little hotter. Maybe the cars will handle a little bit worse. Put the driver skill and driver input into these cars a little bit more. We might have a better race than we normally do at Sonoma. We'll never know. But don't speed on pit road, obviously, is going to be a huge factor. And try to keep your track position as much as you can. And usually we don't get a late race caution here, so it's usually a long run to the end. and expecting the same thing this weekend. To see who can stay out of the sand, stay out of the dirt, and get her done at the end.
Well, who you picking?
So obviously, I'm not picking SVG.
Me either.
I'm taking a break from him, but I am going with another road course guy. Ran really good last week at Chicago. He's never won at this track in NASCAR, but the recent speed has come back after struggling there for a little bit. After getting off to a good start at the beginning of the season, had a little rough patch in the middle. He's getting back to it. Give me AJ Allmendinger. He's a very good road course racer. It's what he does. He's been on this track enough. Colleague has shown enough speed the past few weeks to say I think I can trust that team and maybe him getting a win. He needs a win. He's not in points. I mean, he is kind of on the cut line. I mean, not the cut line, but he's like 20th in points, I think 19th. So he could go for stage points here, but I don't think he will. I think he realizes this is one of his two best opportunities to win a race. I think they're going to go for if they get a good qualifying spot, they'll be up there. Don't make no mistakes. Don't speed on pit road. Don't get involved in no stupid shit, which I know is sometimes hard on road courses.
He's done that a lot.
But give me AJ Allmendinger this weekend. I think it's going to be a good pick. Hadn't won at this track yet, but I think he's going to be a strong contender after what I saw last week at Chicago.
I think that's a terrible pick, and I love it.
How the fuck is that a terrible
He's not
pick?
been that good. He's not been that good on road courses.
Only finished 5th last week.
Which strategy helped him a bunch there.
No, he was up there. He was right there behind Shane all day.
Sure
Second.
he was.
He was.
Yeah, for a little while. But
That's pretty good in my book.
Yeah, 1 out of 7. Great.
He was decent at Coda, I think.
He'd been all right, but he
wasn't great at Mexico.
He ain't been race winning. And one guy that has been and has won a race on a road course and is I doubt he's got the best average finish anymore, but had the best average finish going into last week on road courses in the next-gen cars. Chris Buescher, I'm going to pick him. Should have won this race a couple years ago when the 99 won it.
Daniel should have won that race.
Very, very good here last year.
Second time with Chris.
Obviously winning the race or when his tires gave up and the 19 passed him, and then he ended up running out of fuel, and Kyle ended up winning the race. But very, very good here. Very, very good car. Those Roush cars have been really quick the past 5-6 weeks. Priest has been really good at road courses, and he's not good at road courses. So I think there's something in those cars that are helping them out, and I think that Chris has got the most talent as far as the Roush guys go on the road course stuff. So I expect him to qualify well. I expect him to race well as long as he don't blow another motor. I think he should at the very least beat AJ, but I do think he's going to compete for the win. People forget that he did beat Shane Van Gisbergen head-to-head at Watkins Glen last year. Granted it was on a restart, but still beat him.
Well, he was leading before the restart.
He was, but beat him head-to-head on a restart and ended up winning the race. And I think that's I don't think it'll come down to another restart, this week. But we'll definitely be up there to contend. So as long as he beats AJ, I'm fine. But I do think he's going to end up competing for the win at the end of the day.
It's a good pick. The guy I almost picked was Michael McDowell. I think he's going to be fired up. He's really good at Sonoma. Might have had the best car last weekend. We'll never know. But I almost picked Michael. But I trust AJ just a little bit more than Michael. Probably shouldn't, but probably should pick McDowell. But oh well, we'll have to see on that. That's a pretty good pick for you because you ain't beat me since you picked the last Roush car. Yeah. That was at the 600.
Fuck him.
That was a long time ago. I've won 6 straight times. 2 outright wins, by the way. Thank you, Shane. But anyways, Riley, what you got going this weekend?
Not a goddamn thing.
Cool. I got to work. So I think it's just the Xfinity and the Cup. I don't think trucks are racing at Sonoma this weekend. I don't think are they racing in the real quick? No, they're not. Okay, so it's just Xfinity and Cup. This weekend at Sonoma should be a decent show in wine country. Get through another road course, and then we will have to deal with the best road course in the Cup Series, Watkins Glen. but that'll be in mid-August, so we got a little bit of a break from road courses after this. So get back to some traditional ovals after this weekend. Yeah, that's all I got. Guys, thank you all so much for listening. Made this far in the episode. Drink a beer, shotgun a beer. Drink an ice-cold Coca-Cola. And, yeah, we'll come back with you next week and preview Dover. Yep, and review Sonoma, and I'm sure a whole bunch of stuff in between. But, guys, follow us on TikTok at the Highline Podcast. Follow us on YouTube at the Highline Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at the Highline Official. Follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcast at the Highline. Hit the notification bell.
Ding, ding.
To get every update every time we drop an episode. Drop one once a week. We'll be back with you next week. Go Tigers.
Go Cox.